Across the South Coast, live from Solent University, you're listening to Solent Sports News.
Good afternoon, my name is Dan George and welcome to Solent Sports News. These are your latest headlines. The two English teams will be taking centre stage in the Champions League quarter-finals tonight. Liverpool are taking on Benfica and the Etihad will be rocking as Manchester City host Atletico Madrid. City boss Pep Guardiola did, however, seem angered by some journalists constantly debating City's European form.
I'm not going to talk 1 second about these stupid debates. No 1 second. So everyone try to win the games, and if they win, they will be the right, and if I win, we win, we'll be right.
Derby County manager Wayne Rooney gave an open view on the current situation at Derby on Monday night. The 36-year-old revealed that the Rams have only 3 players contracted between now and the end of the current season. Rooney's side have some tough tests still to come in the remainder of the campaign, with Swansea and Fulham their next 2 opponents.
All this is tough. It's a challenge. It's a challenge which I'm so proud in the staff and the players and how they've been able to get through this. And from a player's point of view, they're going on the pitch every game. You see, we're selling out the stadium. We're getting big crowds in every week, and that's down to the players in terms of whether we win, lose or draw. They're working, they're playing with a passion, a pride for the club, and the fans are right behind the players.
Some breaking news now. Sarina Wiegman has announced her England captain ahead of this summer's European Championships. We are now joined by our correspondent, George Rees-Julian, outside St Mary's Stadium. George, what news have you got for us?
Well, we're 92 days away from the start of the tournament, and Sarina Wiegman has announced that Arsenal defender Leah Williamson will be captain in the side. This comes after she took the captain's armband in the absence of Steph Houghton and Luke Bronze earlier on in the World Cup qualification stages.
And who else was in the
Sarina Wiegman, she really seems to be happy with Leah Williamson as the captain. Sorry, what was that?
And George, who else seems to was in the running for the captaincy when it was being discussed before Williamson was announced as captain for England?
Well, Luke Bronze was a possibility. She's won the captain's armband in the past, but she was never really seemed like she was in contention. Chelsea defender Millie Bright, she's been announced as the vice captain. She was someone who perhaps could have worn the armband. She wore the armband back in November for the World Cup qualifiers when Williamson was out with a hamstring injury. But now that Williamson's fit, I think she was really the only choice who was going to get it permanently.
Of course, and going on into the European Championships, just personally, how are you feeling ahead of this tournament? Do you think that England can bring it home, so to say?
Yeah, I think the home advantage is going to be massive. There's loads of games that are already sold out. It seems like every England game or game that England could be in is sold out. I think the home advantage will be massive. And the Arnold Clark Cup just a few months ago, England won that, and they had Germany and Spain in there as well, 2 of the other teams who are probably some of the favourites to win the tournament. So I think, England have got a really good chance.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us today, George. George was there live for us outside St Mary's Stadium. And 4 years have since passed since England's mighty World Cup run in Russia was brought to a halt by Croatia. On Saturday, the draw for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar for the men's teams took place, putting England in a group with Iran, USA and one of either Wales, Scotland or Ukraine. But there has been talks of the wait for the World Cup being cut in half. Our reporter George Venn has a reaction the biannual World Cup proposition.
England are in Group B and so are whoever gets through from Wales, Scotland and the Ukraine.
The recent World Cup draw has reignited the discussion over the possibility of a biannual tournament. We asked those in the know about their thoughts on the proposal.
I'm totally against a World Cup every 2 years.
That was Football London correspondent Tom Clark.
It would take something of the special nature of a World Cup away from it. The rarity of the event is what makes it so special. Not to mention how you would then fit in all the other continental tournaments. You obviously have the Euros, AFCON, Gold Cup.
Josh Mabou, who works at The Sun, believes the biannual tournament would endanger player welfare.
The main effect a World Cup every 2 years will have on domestic football is mainly player welfare. Thierry Henry has spoke a lot about it in the past and the mental toll it has on players playing for their country.
I played 4 World Cups. I came out of them shattered mentally. If you play that every 2 years, it's tough. it took me more than 25 days to recover mentally.
If a World Cup happens every 2 years, eventually we'll get to a point where they're held annually. That can take a massive toll on mental health, just even the body in general, the overall fitness of a player.
Vavel's Harry Roy feels the decision is purely money-based.
For me, this biannual World Cup is a money grab and a power grab, and really I don't think it benefits the game in any aspect at all, unless you want footballers retiring early, because that's what will happen. Just the fixture congestion is just going to be too much for some.
England have drawn Iran, USA and either Wales, Scotland or Ukraine, and will play on the opening day of the tournament in November, in an attempt to win their first World Cup since 1966.
It is Kieran Trippier. It is delicious! Glorious England goal!
Thank you, George. Aside from the top flight of football, we look now down into the second division in England, in the Championship, and there are 5 games taking place tonight in that league, with the headline game between Luton and Peterborough. The Hatters travel to the Western Home Stadium as they continue their fight for promotion, as their heroic climb up the football pyramid continues. Luton got back into the English Football League in 2013, and since then, all they've done is look up. Golf players and fans across the world are now hoping for the return of Tiger Woods at the Masters. Woods has not played since February 2021 due to being in a car accident. Former Masters winner Danny Willett says the fact that he's been seen playing golf is a positive sign.
The fact that he's been seen hitting balls, walking around playing, it's all positive things. This place is a tough walk. This is a long old golf course. To walk this 4, 5, 6 times in a week is a hell of a lot for his legs. So fingers crossed, the strength's there and he can come and play.
Right, on to cricket, the main event of the day. We've been looking forward to this throughout this. I'm pleased to say I'm joined now by Adam Oliver in the studio. More of the 100 news. We've got now to talk about the Braves have managed to retain England international Jofra Archer. We found that out earlier today and have the 8th pick of the day. Adam, what can you tell us? Please just update us on this breaking news that we've since found out at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, so we've got some more news about the signings that they've made. So they've actually retained Quinton de Kock as well. They've gone back to him. They've re-signed him. Rehan Ahmed, who impressed so much during the Under-19s World Cup. Hampshire player Joe Weatherly will also be playing. He signed for £30,000. And Dan Moriarty, who was so impressive in the last edition of the 100. And then on the women's side, fresh off her victory in the Ashes and also the World Cup, Talia McGrath has also signed for Southern Brave. So watch out for them again this year.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Adam, for joining us today. That's all we've got time for. Make sure to keep up to date across our social media channels at Solent Sports News on Twitter, Instagram. But that is all we've got time for now. We will be back next week for more sports news. But until then, thank you very much and goodbye.